Welcome back. I had some audio issues, and Ableton is not responding, which is amazing. But I mean, it would be strange if shit like this wouldn't happen, right? So let's close Ableton. Yeah, I don't care. Okay. And let's open it up again. Schön ist was anderes, ne? No, I should have recovered my work though. Shit. Okay, but you got an idea how the piece, what the piece is, and how it sounds, and so on and so forth. And I want to go real quick I want to go into detail how I made it sound the way it sounds, you know. And yeah, it was pretty straightforward. I did some weird experimentation, which was kind of nice. Let me rename this. This is my SV2, or the keys. My electric piano, very trusty, good device. Those are the drums, all the dark blue stuff. And this is the bass. For the SV2, we recorded it in stereo straight into the audio interface. For the bass, we went into a DI box, and also pretty straightforward. We just had the DI signal. We recorded it at Yoshi's parents' place. Yoshi's the drummer. And for the drums, we had overhead mics, 2 small condensers. We had 1 snare mic. Now you might be asking, what the hell is going on here with the MIDI and the snare big? I don't even know why I called it that, but you will see in a bit. And then we have the Wurst, which is even weirder, but it's it makes sense. It's a very good technique, even though it sounds kind of silly. If you want to check that out a bit more, you can take a look at Moses Schneider's videos on YouTube. He's an audio engineer, and he's kind of the pioneer of the Wurst microphone. And then we had a kick mic. Let's start with the drums. Of course, we have the overheads. Let's play them maybe without any effects. Sounds very nice, very clean, very clear too. Yeah, and if you look at the EQ, for example, I took a lot of the low mids out, because it wasn't necessary. The snare picks it up. The Wurst microphone picks it up. Yeah, and here are some very specific frequencies that were bothering me that I cut out. Yeah, so it sounds like this, a bit hollow, but I wanted it to be like that. I wanted it to be a bit focused and less melodious, if you know what I mean. And then I put a multi-band compressor on. So basically this area, when it reaches a certain threshold or a certain loudness, it gets down. You can see it here, especially when the snare hits. I think that was my idea, to kind of minimize the snare sound here, because I already have it here, you know. And then I had some M-Audio auto align, which is amazing because I'm not a phasing expert. And yeah, basically, if you have we have a stereo signal here, 2 microphones, and when they're out of phase, that it means basically, maybe I can visualize it a bit, that they don't hit at the same time, like the peaks don't appear at the same time, and then they cancel each other out. It's physics, and I'm not an expert on physics, but this is how it works somehow. And yeah, the good thing with M-Audio auto align, I mean, this is for the whole drum set. I used it individually, drum set overheads, you can read it here, individually for the left and the right overhead, so they are in phase and don't cancel each other out. Yeah, it helps me a bit, and I was just fooling around and trying to make it sound good. Yeah, that's to the overheads. Nothing special really. I don't know, I didn't even use that much automation. Okay, let's continue with the snare drum. On the channel itself, you can see that I grouped all of the components of the drum set into like buses, I guess, or channels. And on some I have some effects, as you can see here. On the snare I don't. Let's listen to the snare individually, to the snare drum. Maybe now in context, or yeah, now in context with the whole drum set. Yeah, so this is how it sounds. It's also nothing special. Yeah, one more thing regarding like the alignment thing, the phase alignment thing. I put this auto align on every drum component. I put it here on the kick drum. I put it on that kick drum here. I put it on the snare drum. I put it on the overheads. Then on the overhead group, I put it also to connect it to the other drum components, so that it's united in a way, sound-wise. Okay. So I used that. I used an EQ. I don't know, what did I do? What did I do here? So I boosted the mid signal. The side and mid. I boosted the mid signal of this particular frequency. Now, if I should turn, now I will turn the equalizer off, and it will sound like this. A bit fuller, but we don't need that really. It loses touch with the other elements. And that's already, let's go back here. Do you know what I mean? This is a bit more subtle and a bit more boosted here in the higher frequencies, or in the high mids. Then I put a compressor on, so it doesn't get too loud, and a gate. Just to make it clean and nice. So the gate basically just lets through a signal at a certain loudness. You can set the threshold here, and then for example, if I put it up, you will barely hear anything, but that's not what I want. Now, this is the first snare. Now we have this snare right here. I dubbed this snare big. I don't know why I did that, and I took a sample from Mike Clark, from Actual Proof, the Herbie Hancock version from Thrust. It sounds like this. And then I pitched it up, I guess. Or did I? No, I didn't. Why did I do this? Because, I don't know, I didn't like the sound of the snare, of the acoustic snare. And, I mean, I guess I can show you. The acoustic snare would have, it would have sounded like this. I mean, it's not bad, but it has way too much tone. I want to have it more hollow. I wanted to sound a bit more. I wanted it to sound a bit more hip hoppy, I guess. So I did this: convert drums to new MIDI track. Really lazy, but it worked. And then I added my Clark snare, and it sounds like this. And you can hear me singing in the background. Yeah, that's what I did. Now, I used here auto align, of course, then an EQ to boost a bit of the low mids, and cut a bit of the higher mids, and in the treble I did some boosting, and then I cut here because there was this vinyl noise, you know, when you have an old vinyl record and it's dusty, and I didn't want to do that, or I didn't want to have that, and then I put some, I don't know why I did that. I put some AI stereo control. I don't know why I did that though. Maybe it's not necessary even. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I did it. And then on the bass, I don't know why I could have put it just here. I don't know why. Okay. I EQ'd it here again, boosting the low mids, cutting a bit here, and I don't know why I did that, honestly. Let's listen without the EQ. Ah, now I know. It sounds way fuller like this. Frequency is very important. It's like the first harmonic. You can see it here. Wait, I can freeze this somehow. Wait. How can I freeze this? No, not like this. There was okay, I don't know how to freeze the graph, but you can see this is the first harmonic of the snare, and boosting it will result most of the time in a fuller sound, I feel like. Then I boosted this frequency. Yeah, for some punch, I guess. And cut the rest of it because I didn't want the snare to mess with the high frequencies necessarily. Then I had some utility put on. This is, you can ignore this. And then one of my favorite plugins, Softube's saturation knob. Yeah, without it, it sounds like this. Way too nice. This is more dirty. I like it. Listen to this. And I used a glue compressor. Yeah. To just... So the compressor... Basically, if you take the compressor and put the threshold and the ratio and the release in a way that just hits the peaks or the transients of a wave, like the moment where I hit my palm or where Yoshi hits the snare with a drumstick. This is the peak, of course, because it's the loudest part of a sound in one given moment. And if I just put it to control this a bit. Let's listen without it. It's too messy. It's way too messy. It's not controlled enough. It needs to be, this groove, this particular groove needs to be very focused. And the compressor kind of helps me to, let me just check if this recording is still running. Yes, it is. This compressor helps me keeping the snare in focus. And also what you can see here, what I did here was I put the snare, like the panning thing over here, I put it to the left a bit so that there is space on the stereo spectrum. So the snare is not in the middle, it's on the left just a tiny bit because there it is maybe more perceived because it does not get overshadowed by other stuff that's in the middle. If I would have put it in the middle, there would be the bass too, for maybe, or yeah, some like the middle part of the piano. And if I have it a bit on the left, it's like a bit more individual. Here, regarding panning, the overheads, the left one I put to the left, the right one I put to the right, but not all the way, like 2/3 of the way, I guess. This also helps with, or helped me with retaining that focus. So the drums are not very open, which can be nice in certain contexts, but not with this particular groove for me. It has to be compact, you know, the stereo image. So it's a package, essentially, a groove package, if you want to call that. And funnily enough, now that I look at it, I put the bass to the left too. So I was completely yeah, I don't know. That was a bit hypocritical of me, but who cares? The kick is in the middle though. So the bass and the kick are a bit offset from each other and not at the same, are not happening in the same place, essentially. So this is the snare that I stole from my Clark. I'm happy about this decision that I did that. Now to the Wurst microphone, which is strange. The Wurst microphone, first of all, is it's this technique that Moses Schneider, this one guy from Berlin, this one sound guy from Berlin, uses all the time. He does a lot of weird stuff, and with the Wurst microphone, it's basically if you have the bass drum and the drummer is sitting here. Here's the bass drum, and you put the mic on the side into the drum set. It's very much into the drum set, and you put it pointing at the drummer's knee, essentially. It's taking the whole drum set. It's recording the whole drum set, and it can easily be like sound-wise. It can easily be manipulated, and you can do some funny stuff with it. Let's play it without effects, maybe. It sounds like this. Now, of course, I had to do some phase alignment, yada yada yada. And then I put an EQ on it. I always do, because, and I took a lot of the bass frequencies and the low mids out once again. And it's actually, it's a pretty aggressive compression. We have a ratio of 20:1. And a release time that's kind of high, and an attack time that's kind of high. So why did I do this, you may ask? Wait, how can I bypass this thing? Okay, I can't. Then I will do this do it like this. I did that because, once again, I wanted to have punch. With the compressor, I get more punch from the Wurst. This without the aggressive compression. This is with the compression. Yeah, the transients are a bit more popping, which is nice. Let's just go further to the kick. We recorded one kick drum, and I did the very lazy thing of, once again, converting drums to MIDI. So I layered the kick with another kick I stole from James Madron, the drummer, on the The Betrayal album. I sampled one kick of his. It sounds like this. It sounds very nice. And here we have Yoshi's kick. Wait. Yeah, you can barely hear it. Let me play it without effects. Sounds like this. It was a jazz kit, which is very nice, of course, I think, but the problem with that is, of course, let's go here, maybe. The problem with this is, of course, that it lacks the punch. And I wanted, as I said, I wanted it to sound a bit more hip-hop-ish. So I aligned it with the rest of the drum set. Then I put an EQ on it, cutting a lot of frequencies, boosting the treble. So I have the little pop of the kick, and then I layered it with James kick. So now from this bass drum, I have the little pop, and here I have like because here I put a EQ and cut a lot of the high frequencies and boosted the low frequencies. And here I have like this package of Yoshi's little pop at the beginning, and then the rest of the kick is this massive knock, which is very nice. And of course I aligned it too with this bass drum. And then on the bass, what did I do here? I did some mid-side EQ, cut a bit of frequencies in the mid spectrum, cut a bit of side frequencies where I didn't want to have them, probably here because the bass is here, and this bit of the snare too, and here because they're the high frequencies, for me, I didn't want to hear so much on the kick drum, so those were reserved for bass, maybe, or bass solo and piano. So I cut this side image of it. And that would conclude the drum set. Let's listen maybe here. This is not too bad. And then on the drum bass, I did some like final EQing. This boost is for the bass drum. I think this I cut because of the bass. This, I don't know why I did this. And here I cut a lot of highs because I wanted it really to be focused and a bit mid and bass forward, the drums on that song. I put a compressor on to glue it together, and a multi-band compressor over here, and it's side chained actually to the piano when I play the piano now. So every time the piano plays in that range, the drums are cut, so they are not biting each other. Especially the mids, the low mids. Because I wanted every instrument to sound full, and it's kind of hard to do that it's kind of hard to do that because of course there will be some frequencies that will bite each other and will occur at the same time, but there's always an option for mitigating that kind of stuff. Okay, now what I want to do is to check out, I think this is also how I went about it, to check out the drums with the bass, because this was a difficult process. To make the drums and the bass sound good together. As you can see, I have one group for the bass and one group for bass solo. This we will do later. I want to focus on like the bass, the bass that is accompanying the bass that's grooving and everything. Let me just check here if everything runs okay. It does. Great. So let's just get into it. especially my challenge for me, it was to process kick and bass, because of course there is a lot of potential of those two elements fighting for frequencies. Now, the first thing I did that helped me to essentially make space for both of the instruments was to leave the kick in the middle and to pan the bass to the left. I heard that on one album. It was what album was it? It was a very nice album, but yes, now I know. It was on the debut album of Dami and JD Beck. And the producer oftentimes panned the bass, especially on the tracks with Thundercat. He panned the bass to the left. And I wanted to try that out, and I thought, damn, this is so smart, because it's very easy to do, and it very easily solves this mysterious problem of how to process bass and kick and how to make them sound good together. Without side chaining a lot. So now if we go back to the kick and to the equalizers, I mean, we have this. Maybe we should check out this equalizer. I cut the side image of this. I think because, let's see, at 130, yeah, at 130 it's like there are the first harmonics of the beautiful electric bass. This is why I cut some stuff. I have a gate on the bass to eliminate some of the metallic sounds. Although I like him sometimes, in this instance I wanted to be focused again. And there was just a bit of background metallic noise. Maybe you can hear it. Then I put a compressor on, and I did a side chain actually, so every time the kick is playing, the bass gets ducked. Dum, 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 you know? But it's just a little bit. It's not much. It's like a very, very humane sidechain. And then for some reason I put Cymatics Origin, which is like a vintage plugin, as you can see. Let's listen without it. Yeah, it's a bit cleaner. And I put like a bit of chorus and a bit of movement. Turned the cassette effect down, the saturation effect, and cut the high frequencies, the treble frequencies. That's what I did here, and then I EQ'd it. Like with the kick drum here, the area around here where there are oftentimes like the first 2 or 3 harmonics, I did a boost. I cut here because over here is the kick drum, and everything that's under here I just didn't want to hear. That it would just mess with the sound, basically. And this is how I processed bass and kick drum. Now let's listen to the whole drum set with the bass. I said with the whole with the drum set. Now. And it's kind of rough. I mean, the bass it sounds a bit raw, and I mean I could have done it cleaner now that I listen to it, but I also kind of like that it is rough like this. And then there's the piano solo. Let's go there. And here the roughness, I think it's good that it's rough like that, you know. Stuff like this. Okay, it's time for piano. Let me really quickly check how the camera is doing. We're back again with Unconditional Love. Okay, so piano. This is the whole piano section. It's divided into two parts. As you can see, this is like the raw recording we did of the piano. Oh shit, I put a lot of stuff on there. Jesus. Okay. Let's go here. And also, in the recording itself, there were a lot of effects on the thing, as you can hear, like a chorus and stuff like that. Yeah, so as you can hear, I mean, I really like this instrument. It's over here. There is just one problem. When you put effects on it, or when you use it with the integrated effects, which actually sound nice, there's this problem that it has the tendency to distort quickly. And you can hear it. You can definitely hear it. Every other note is basically distorted, and it kind of has a vibe, and it's very dirty too, but it's hard to produce, or it's a bit of a challenge to produce. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about this plugin again. Now here I did some... Why did I do this? Probably to try to widen it, but then I decided that it sounds shit, and then I just left it. I can delete that. And then I put an EQ on it. Yeah. And here I cut out a lot of stuff. till around 500 hertz. The bass is here somewhere. The kick drum is over here somewhere. So that is that. The snare drum is also over here. Here, there I cut out some mids to prevent further distortion. And this I cut because the tines of the electric pianos are very harsh sometimes. I wanted to mitigate that. Also, I did a low pass filter. Because as you have seen on the other tracks and on the other EQs, I cut a lot of high frequencies. Or I cut in the past a lot of high frequencies for that album, actually, because I wanted it to sound warm and a bit cozy and like a bit lo-fi-ish, if that makes sense. Yeah, just very warm and not muddy, but like a hug, you know? And this is why I wanted to create this united sound, this unity. And that's that. Then here I have some more AI. Here I did some widening. Yeah, and it makes a big difference. Now it's gone. Now it's back. And you can hear it distort so often. And it's way more fuller like this. And then a compressor. Just to keep like all of the junk, that distortion junk, that some of it I like, but some of it just is annoying, in check. Especially in the solo right now. Because without the compressor... okay, it's not too bad, but... and another compressor. Okay, till here. This compressor is important because I have to turn on the kick. It ducks the electric piano when the kick is playing to ensure that the groove is there. Also sound-wise, not playing-wise. I hope playing-wise we did a good job too. Let's maybe listen... Or wait, no, let's not do that. Let's do this. Now, here we have the second section, SV2 tape. And you might wonder, what the hell is this? And it's very simple. I took this, and this is what I meant by experimenting. I took this, and you can barely hear it. And I recorded it to cassette because I wanted to try it out. And Then I layered it with the original. You can hear the whirring and the noise in the background. I love it. And of course I had to align it with this one. And I cut a lot of stuff out, though, especially in the mids, because I didn't want the mids to have any of the whirring and noise. In the mid frequencies and also in the mid sound spectrum. Although I boosted here, I don't know why. Maybe I like that frequency a lot. It sounds like this. You can barely hear it. And now if you look at the automation on this, there are certain sections where it's loud and sometimes it's cut. Maybe I can... I don't want to delete the automation. Let's deactivate it. Yeah, stuff like this that sound very nice and are useful, but maybe not in that song. Or here in the beginning we have... You know, renable automation. And I used a bit of it actually in the beginning. You know, it has a vibe, it's nice. And also when it goes into the first theme. And then it's gone completely, and then it creeps in. Now you can hear it creeping in. And they're always in the background. It's very, very low in volume. It's very soft. But I believe that it kind of helps to retain a certain vibe. It's almost like just a effect plugin, like a vintage effect plugin, but it's kind of very real, because it's really, I recorded it on cassette and then played it and then recorded it or printed it back into Ableton. And it has a sidechain, sidechain from the main keys, so yeah, because I didn't want them to fight over frequencies once again. And yeah, stuff like this. Was a very nice experiment. I will definitely do it again. And then there is Layer. It's one of my favorite reverb plugins, which comes into play in the outro. Now it should enable. Just to have a little... Now the cassette comes in and it ends like this. Yeah, I just cranked up the volume on the cassette recorder in the end when I played the cassette back into Ableton, because I thought it would be a nice ending. And I think still that it's not too bad. Yeah, this is a breakdown of all the instruments individually. I haven't talked about the bass solo. Now, with the bass solo, what did I do? I compressed it just a little bit to get the peaks. Then adjusted like the first harmonic, or around the first harmonic, cut some low mids, and saturated it, so it would get a bit more aggressive. And I did some other shenanigans too. Yeah, did I do a send? Wait. Yeah, wait. Okay, I know what I did. I I duplicated it and did some stuff. Here I have this very hilarious looking EQ curve. Let's listen to that individually. Yeah, this is saturation for more aggressiveness and a compressor. Yeah, I used this particular Fairchild compressor because it has this very warm, nice sound. Although it's probably a stupid hoax, and I got tricked by Universal Audio into buying that stuff. And the other bass sound is this one, and it's similar to the kick actually, where this part of the kick is more giving the high frequency information, and this is like for the knocking. This here is like the low part of the bass, and this one is the high part and the more percussive part of the bass. Yeah, you can see here I cut that, put a vinyl effect on it. It doesn't do much. Honestly, if I would have done much here, it would probably sound fucking ridiculous. And then I put a reverb on it. And now it has some space. And it has this very roomy sound. It's a bit awkward sounding, but I like it. It's kind of a bit like the 80s disco R&B sounds of a bass guitar or something. I was listening to a lot of that stuff when I was mixing this album. Then after the bass solo, it switches to the first bass sound we already talked about. Okay. On the master, I put this master tape. Without it, the whole thing would sound like this. So this helps a lot with gluing together everything, basically. I put on EQ. Yeah. At 3K I did a cut. At 120 I did a cut. At 60 I did a cut. So this is bass. This is for the kick drum, basically. This is for the piano. Maybe I should have done a little cut here or something. Just to kick the piano and shake a bit. But I didn't do that. I can do it next time. And another compressor. No, I just have. Yeah, this is one of my favorite compressors. I don't know. You put it on something, it sounds good. If you don't fuck it up. Was a bit. I did say it a bit harsh. I'm sorry, but yeah. And that's what I did with this tune. Yeah, like effects wise, I talked about automation, I talked about everything. As you can see, I structured the whole thing. I love to do that. It helps me, like, also dramaturgically to check what is appropriate in a given moment. And for example, we're in the second solo. Here I probably cut those things, or I and boosted them, just boosted them and made them a bit louder. Maybe on the master recording I didn't do anything really. Yeah, you can see here. In certain sections, like the piano solo, it gets louder. The second A is getting louder. You know, stuff like this. It really helps with the dramaturgical, I hope that's a word, aspect of the music. And I don't know if it would have been appropriate if here I maybe cut. Maybe I go louder, and so it's. The cassette. And that's it. I don't know. I hope that helped. I hope somebody will watch this and not think that I'm a complete crazy man and this was the most boring shit on YouTube. I don't know. I guess we never know. Okay, bye bye.